right, good evening, folks. It's 6 o'clock, and I call the 19th regular Common Council meeting to order. Will the clerk state the quote of the evening?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The best thing about the future is that it comes one day at a time.
Thank you. Will the clerk call the roll?
Alderperson Bellinger.
Here.
Alderperson Decker.
Here.
Alderperson Feldy.
Here.
Alderperson Heidemann.
Here.
Alderperson LaFave.
Excused.
Thank you. Alderperson Mitchell.
Here.
Alderperson Perella.
Here.
Alderperson Peterson.
Here.
Alderperson Ramey.
Here.
Alderperson Rust.
Here.
There are 9 present.
All right, thanks. If folks could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Alder Decker, is there a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting?
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve the minutes from the 18th regular council meeting held on December 16th, 2024.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor of approval of the minutes, state aye.
Aye.
Any objection? All right, minutes are approved. Next, confirmation of appointments, city attorney.
The mayor submits the following appointments for your confirmation to be considered for appointment to the bid district for the 25-26 term. Paul Rudnick, Eileen Simmons, Stephanie Rancun, Delane Reichert, Liz Kelsch, Dakota Groff, Lynn Potian, Derek Mink, Brian Doudna, and Deidre Martinez.
Thank you. Alder Decker, is there a motion to accept and approve?
I move to confirm.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussions? Seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
Alder Feldy.
Aye.
Alder Rust.
Yay.
No ayes.
Thank you. Anyone for public forum, city clerk?
No one this evening.
Thank you. Just a few announcements then on my end. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday and a happy new year, and 2025 is off to a great start so far. Just a few notes on my end. First of all, just wanted to share another award that we once received from the Department of Natural Resources for our 10-year designation being a green tier community. So the big reason why we had this designation and award is the great work our team at the Department of Public Works does when it comes to urban forestry, making sure our parks are clean and pristine, as well as all of our sustainability and conservation efforts as well. So applaud the staff, especially at Public Works, for this continued work, and obviously the Planning and Development Department for their work filing the Green Tier Report every year. So folks have probably also heard the P1 powerboat races will be coming back next year, or this year now, in 2025. P1 has announced their Triple Crown Offshore Race Series, and they're in 3 locations in 2025, St. Petersburg, Florida, New Orleans, Louisiana, and of course, Sheboygan. So we're excited to once again to have this event. And another addition, building on our relationship here, P1 has committed to adding Aqua X jet ski competitions as well. So we'll have power boats and jet ski racing coming to the shores of the Malibu of the Midwest. Again, an item of note on our agenda for this evening is item 18 regarding an initiative moving forward with removing lead lines in our city. So right now, the city of Sheboygan ensures that we provide clean water to all of our citizens. We have about 5,500 lead lines throughout the city, and our great water utility team replaces about 250 to 300 each year. And this agenda and item on the agenda initiative will help continue to move that forward so we can replace more lead lines. So that is all I have on my end. We'll go to item number 7, hearing number 12, 24, 25, pursuant to notice published and letter sent by the city clerk. This hearing is to allow interested parties to be heard relative to a proposed amendment to the city of Sheboygan's official zoning map. The purpose of this amendment is to change the use district classification properties located at 2253 Calumet Drive from class neighborhood residential NR6 to class urban commercial. Anyone wishing to be heard on this item? Anyone wishing to be heard on this item? Sir?
Yeah.
Would you, can you come up to the podium?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Then if you could state your name and address.
My name is Thomas Bergen. I live in the Colds Court subdivision, Lot 17. It's 2223 Colds Court. I'm here because of the residential, the zoning request that was proposed. I just got a letter Thursday, late on Thursday, and it's kind of late notice. They could have sent that out a little earlier. But my question is, we already have a parking issue on Colds Court, which is it's a very narrow street. And during Christmas, we had a snowstorm, and the plows couldn't even get through the street. It was during the day, though. It wasn't during the parking rule at night. But the plows couldn't even get through there. They had to back all the way up the street because it's so tight on that street. Now, how is this this proposed ordinance, it's my understanding that they want to put a laundromat in there. And Doug's, I know, is selling their property right there on the corner, Doug's Auto Service. So they want to change the zoning on this concrete building just to the south of Doug's, I believe it is, and to the west of where the old paper shop used to be. It's that one right there on Colds Court. Now, how is this going to affect our parking in that, which is already a problem? There's some questions I'm bringing up. And in the past, we've already had a lot of people years back would speed up and down our street because it's a shortcut between Calumet Drive and Geely Avenue. And that's been nice, pretty good now. And we've got some new couples that are bringing up children in our neighborhood. And we have right across the street, I have a new couple that brought up they're bringing up a 7-month-old boy. And it's a nice young couple. I met them. And it's a residential neighborhood. And I'm wondering how all this traffic from this laundromat is going to affect that. And also, I had a question as far as maybe bringing at night a element of crime in the neighborhood, because we have had past drug issues in that neighborhood right there. So there's going to be an element of crime and maybe loitering and people that you don't want to be causing trouble in that neighborhood. You know, it's a residential area. So, and I think it's going to affect the resale on my house also. And I try to keep my house up, and I try to keep it up very nice so it looks nice. And all that from the street. I spend a lot of time and money on my house. So those are some of the questions I've had, and parking is the big one too, you know, like I have said. So, and we are residential zoned. And that's the way I bought the house. It's a Colds Court subdivision. So, are there any answers or input?
For hearings, we just hear comments.
Okay.
Yep, thank you.
All right.
Anyone else wishing to be heard on this item? Anyone else? Last call. Seeing none, Alder Decker, is there a motion to adjourn or close the hearing?
I move to close the hearing.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor of closing the hearing, state aye.
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 Any objections? The hearing is closed. Next, items on the consent agenda, 9 through 11. Alder Decker.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to receive and file all ROs, receive all RCs, and adopt all resolutions and ordinances.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on the consent agenda items? Heard right, seeing no cues, this is a roll call vote.
Alder Felde?
Aye.
Alder Rust?
Aye.
9 ayes.
All right, those items are approved. Next, reports of officers, item 12, RO number 982425 by the Transit Commission, to whom was referred Resolution 852425 by Alderpersons Decker, Rust, and Mitchell, accepting and approving the Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan. Alder Decker.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to receive the RO and adopt the resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, this is a Alder Perla.
Yeah, so shouldn't this be for 2025? Why are we approving it now for 2024? Just curious.
Who wants to take that one?
Actually, it would be a question for Derek.
As somebody who sits on the Transit Committee, I think it got sent to the Transit Committee and approved in 2024. Now it's coming to you guys for approval.
So, but in theory, it should be approved in the year that it is used, correct? I mean, makes sense.
I believe it's a yearly plan that Derek updates every year.
Yeah, sure. I understand that. Okay, thank you.
All right, this is a roll call vote.
Alder Felde?
Aye.
Alder Rust?
Aye.
Nine ayes.
All right, that's approved. Items 13 and 15 will be sent to their respective committees. Next, we have some resolutions. 16, resolution number 1462425 by Alders Decker and Rust, scheduling a spring primary election for candidates for city office in 2025 in all races where there are 3 or more candidates. Alder Decker.
I ask to suspend the rules.
Any objections? Seeing none, please proceed with your motion.
I move to adopt the resolution.
All right, thank you. And then
Second.
it's been seconded. I'll call on the city attorney for why we're suspending.
Rules are being suspended because the state statute that allows for the common council to approve on an annual basis a primary election does provide that it must be done by no more than 3 days after the final day for signatures, which is tomorrow at 5 p.m., and you won't be meeting again before that time.
Thank you. Alder Bellinger.
Could I just get an explanation of what's going on with this from Meredith? I mean, I had a conversation with her earlier this afternoon, but I think it's, it would be interesting for the public that's watching and, to kind of know why we're doing this. And because in the past, there's been primaries. I've specifically been involved in a couple of them. So I'm just kind of wondering why this is needed.
The Wisconsin state statutes allows for 3 options when it comes to a primary in the spring election. One is that you wouldn't have a primary if there's 3 or more. One, that you would pass a charter ordinance that you would always have a primary if there's 3 or more. Or one is to do it on an annual basis via resolution. The charter ordinance last time failed, so this is the resolution to ensure that if there are 3 or more candidates for this election in 2025, that we would have a primary. It's always been in the state statutes. It's just that we have never had a charter ordinance for the city.
Thank you for that explanation. That's very helpful.
All right, other discussion? Seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
Alder Felde?
Aye.
Alder Rust?
Aye.
9 ayes.
That's approved. Next, item 17, resolution number 1472425 by Elders Mitchell and Prella, authorizing the finance director to write off the loan balance on the city's balance sheet for 2313 North 5th Street and directing the city attorney's office to submit a release of mortgage to the Sheboygan County Register of Deeds. Alder Mitchell.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to suspend the rules.
Any objections? Hearing none, please proceed with your motion.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Moved and seconded, and I'll call on the Finance Director for an explanation for suspension.
Sure, thank you. We are asking for a suspension of the rules in order to allow this homeowner to move on and do any transactions on their property. We have worked on this for several months with the closing company. As it states in the resolution, this is a 2015 payoff that was never recorded, so we just want to make sure that we're helping that homeowner get this taken care of as soon as possible.
Thank you. Under discussion, Alder Bellinger?
No, I was looking for the explanation, so thank you for that.
Thank you. Other discussion on this item? Seeing no more, Alder Perla. You gotta be faster on the button.
Thank you, I know, thank you, Chair, Mayor. Just, so in which way was the constituent, the resident impacted by this? I thought that only the city was impacted because we had not removed it from the city's balance sheet. So in which way it is due to the resident?
Sure. Since the mortgage was not released from the property, so if they went to go sell that property, it shows that there's a mortgage still on the property from the city.
Okay.
So within the closing, they would have to pay the city back. However, they have done that already, so that's how it could impact the homeowner.
Of course. Thank you so much.
All right, no more cues. This will be a roll call vote.
Alder Feldey?
Aye.
Alder Rust?
Aye.
9 ayes.
Thank you. Item 18, resolution number 145-2425 by Alders Mitchell and Perla, authorizing an issuance of sale up to $846,365 taxable general obligation lead service line replacement promissory note series 2025 and providing for other details and covenants with respect thereto. Alder Mitchell.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to suspend the rules.
Any objections? Seeing none, please proceed with your motion.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Moved and seconded, and then I'll call on the city administrator to give an explanation for suspension.
Direct everyone to the last attachment labeled combined attached. In that, you'll find the letter that was sent to us on December 30th. So Water Utility Superintendent Trueblood has been working on this with the city, our finance department, and with our legal counsel for a couple months now in trying to get this all aligned so that we would get the funding for the public and getting the loan documents done. You'll see on here, they sent it to us on December 30th. On page 2 of that, they have the schedule that the Department of Natural Resources has laid out for this, and essentially has us adopting municipality holds properly noticed meeting at which time municipal obligation resolution is adopted, bond-related documents are signed by municipal officials, DNR FAA signed, which is also attached here, and then we will be overnighting that to our bond counsel tomorrow. So it's a very tight time frame to get this turned around, to bring in roughly a little over $2 million in free money, $2.2 million of free money of principal forgiveness to help out homeowners in the lead line replacement program.
Thank you. Under discussion, Alder Perla.
Yes, would you be so kind, I'm assume Director Kruger, to explain to me, I mean, the schedule with the DNR is clear. As far as the repayment of the 826,000 and so, or 46,000, sorry. So that repayment, which should be basically covered, if I understand correctly. I mean, I would like some clarifications on how the constituents, the residences that are impacted by this, how will they be addressed? And I found it a little confusing on that paragraph addressing that part.
All right. Superintendent Trueblood.
Yes, thank you. So it is a little bit confusing, but there's several funding mechanisms for the water utilities lead service line replacement program. And this year, the DNR is providing from the federal infrastructure law that went into place a lot of 100% principal forgiveness money. However, it doesn't apply to each area of the city. It only applies to federally designated disadvantaged census tracts. In those tracts, which we're trying to focus on, there's 100% forgiveness, so the residents have no cost. However, the federal money does not allow 100% principal forgiveness in other areas, and in those areas, there's up to 75% principal forgiveness. That additional 25% through the water utility we provide to the customer as a loan, and they're then paying back the water utility. So that $800,000 some dollars is going out to the utility to pay the LS lead service line replacement cost, and then the utility is being reimbursed over a 4 or 5 year period from the homeowner.
Just one follow-up.
Go ahead.
This is going to be mandatory for those, for the residences.
It's considered mandatory. It's a health improvement, and we have to select areas where it's efficient to replace those, house by house, so that in blocks we can't have individuals opting in and out of the program because we're mandated to get those lead lines replaced in a certain period of time.
So the residences have to do it.
Yes.
And where there will be some other options of payments or facilitations of payments for residents or not?
They can pay that 25% up front, or they can take a loan and pay it back over a 4 or 5 year period of time at no interest.
No interest, you said? You said
Yes.
no interest, okay.
That's correct.
Thank you very much for the clarification.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Other discussion? Alder Bellinger?
I think most of my question was answered by Superintendent Trueblood, so I appreciate that. And I appreciate City Administrator sending out the attachment about a week ago explaining the funding mechanism for this grant and the payback as well. I thought it was very helpful and very well laid out, so thank you for that.
Thank you. Seeing no more, this is a roll call vote.
Alderperson Feldy?
Aye.
Alderperson Rust?
Aye.
9 ayes.
All right, that's approved. Now reports of committees, 19 RC number 194-24-25 by the Finance and Personnel Committee, to whom was referred resolution number 134-24-25 by Elders Mitchell and Prella, confirming the final allocation and expenses utilizing American Rescue Act funds to pay for various eligible capital projects and authorizing the Finance Director to complete the 2024 budget amendment with associated and anticipated costs. Alder Mitchell.
Thank you. I move to receive the RC and adopt the resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion on this item. Seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
Alderperson Feldy?
Aye.
Alderperson Rust?
Aye.
9 ayes.
That's approved. Item 20, RC number 196-24-25 by the Finance and Personnel Committee, to whom was referred number 140-24-25 by Elders Mitchell and Prella, authorizing the purchasing agent to issue a purchase order for the purchase and installation of automated material handling system for return materials at Mead Public Library. Alder Mitchell.
Move to receive the RC and adopt the resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? Alder Bellinger.
I just have a question on the 5-year continuing annual commitment of $1,600 a year. What do we get for that? What is, I mean, I get initially the setup and the process and put in place, the training, all of that. But I mean, annually, now we're going to pay, $1,600 or?
Finance Director?
Sure. This is from the library director, so I don't have specifics on that question. It does talk about the warranty and the support that we would receive at the library for the $16,000 each year, but I would have to unfortunately defer to Director Erickson for additional clarification.
Okay. If you could do that and then just let me know, I would appreciate that. Thank you.
I can do that.
Thank you. Alder Prella.
I also just want to add to that, this is only, so we are involved only because we are the purchasing agent, not because the city is going to cover that. Correct?
City Administrator.
I just want to add that as a comment.
Yep, that is correct. So the library board also ultimately has the decision on making this purchase, and they voted to purchase. But they do their purchasing through the city, and our requirements are that council authorize the issuance of this type of purchase order.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. This is a roll call vote.
Alderperson Feldy?
Aye.
Alderperson Rust?
Aye.
9 ayes.
All right, that is approved. Item 21, RC number 1972425 by the Finance and Personnel Committee, to whom was referred resolution number 1412425 by Alders Mitchell and Perella, amending the 2024 budget for various expended, incurred, or planned. Alder Mitchell.
Move to receive the RC and adopt the resolution.
Moved and seconded. Under discussion. Seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
Alderperson Feldy?
Aye.
Alderperson Rust?
Aye.
9 ayes.
That's approved. 22, RC number 1982425 by Finance and Personnel Committee, to whom was direct referred resolution number 1422425 by Alders Mitchell and Perella, adopting a citizen participation plan in which is required when funds are required from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development Community Development Block Grant Program. Alder Mitchell.
Move to receive the RC and adopt the resolution.
Moved and seconded. Discussion on this item. Seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
Alderperson Feldy?
Aye.
Alderperson Rust?
Aye.
9 ayes.
That's approved. Item 23, RC number 1992425 by the Finance and Personnel Committee, to whom was referred direct referral resolution number 1442425 by Alderpersons Mitchell and Perella, authorizing Kristen Fish Peterson of Redevelopment Resources to act on behalf of the mayor as a certifying officer for the insurance of environmental reviews related to HUD Community Development Block Grant Program. Alder Mitchell.
I move to receive the RC and adopt the resolution.
Moved and seconded. Discussion on this item. Seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
Alderperson Feldy?
Aye.
Alderperson Rust?
Aye.
Ayes.
All right, that's approved. Items 24 and 25 will be referred to their respective committees. Next, under matters laid over, RO number 792425 by the City Plan Commission, to whom was referred General Ordinance number 2024-25 by Alders Bellinger and LaFave, and RO number 732425 by the City Clerk, submitting application to amend the City of Sheboygan official zoning map of the Sheboygan zoning ordinances to change the use classification district property located at 2258 Calumet Drive from class neighborhood residential to class urban commercial. Alder Bellinger.
Thank you. I recommend filing the RO and adopting the ordinance.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion on this item. Alder Decker.
Yes, I'd like to see if we can get an answer for the gentleman that spoke about the parking situation. Is there a parking lot included with this building? Is there something that, is there going to be adequate parking for a laundromat? And I guess that's...
Well, let's take this one. City Administrator.
I haven't been involved with this zoning request, but the adjacent parking lot is owned by the same ownership.
Okay.
So, parcel 5928, 1621500 is a parking lot.
Okay.
And directly adjacent to the requested property. I'm not sure what conversation took place at Plan Commission.
It was approved.
But staff has not mentioned any concerns at our development meetings regarding this project.
Okay. All right, Alder Prella.
I actually had the same question. I wanted to address that issue, the concern that the resident had. Sorry, I don't remember the name. I'm not sure I understood the fact that the adjacent lot belongs to the same person. What does that mean in your, what is the argument there? I just don't understand that, sorry.
City Administrator.
So there's already a parking lot there. So that would be servicing that property. So I'm guessing that's, from looking at the aerial, again, I haven't been involved with it, but just making an assumption, I'm guessing that was the conversation at Plan Commission. I don't know for sure. I was not present for that, but if they're converting that into a commercial space, there is parking next to it, which staff would have evaluated that for adequate parking space. And if there was a concern, they would have required a variance or a conditional use permit. And to my knowledge, they have not done that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Alder Bellinger.
Thank you, Mayor. At the Plan Commission, there was never an issue brought up about parking. There was no concerns voiced at that point in time with any of the neighbors. It was, if I remember correctly, half the property is residential and half is commercial. So we were just, it seemed like, a reasonable request from the applicant, and there were no objections for anybody in the neighborhood at that point in time. So that's why it was approved.
Thank you. Other discussion from alders? Seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
Alder Feldy?
Aye.
Alder Rust?
Aye.
All right, that's approved. We have exhausted the agenda. Alder Decker, what's your privilege?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor of adjournment, state aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned at 6:34. Good evening, everybody.